You asked, we listened. We do listen every once in a while. A lot of you were commenting that you wanted to see how Melissa DeLaCruz, by the way, she's back, would change that kaleidoscope look or dimensional nails, how she would keep it and maintain it so the client could keep wearing it, but still changing it up a bit. Melissa, what are you doing for us today?
I'm pretty much I'm gonna take down my dimensions I did a little, add some glitter, maybe throw some foil, change the color more to like a autumn, November feel, and yeah, go with that.
I like it. Let's change some dimensional nails and make them beautiful again.
Let's do it. Hi, so I'm back to change out Tracy's nails. Last time I was here, I did the kaleidoscope set. And I was mentioning that when you pay that much for a set, that you could actually not take all the design off. You could keep it going, or you could change it out a little without electric filing it all the way off. So I'm going to give you an example of the nails I just did, the October nails, and I'm going to kind of make them look a little more fall. So let's get started. I always start with pushing back the cuticle. I never skip this step. It's super important. The reason being is when you're pushing it back, if you look really closely, you could see where it turns white. That's where you actually have protein growth. So you'll know, you could touch that a couple times with your electric file, and the first time you touch it, it takes off skin. The second time will actually prep the natural nail. So it's really important to do this. I never skip this step. So now I'm going to remove all her color. I'll put it on 12 to 13,000 RPMs. Again, what I'm going to do is utilize my whole drill bit in a circular motion till I see the parts where the color is all coming off. So as you can see, while it's off, I kind of do a tickling motion where there's a little bit left.
So now this is kind of the advantage of doing the artwork on top, right?
Yes.
So it's a little bit easier. I mean, obviously you're going to get to the other two nails and they're encased, but when you can do it on top with gel polish or a glitter press, it's fast.
It's very fast. It doesn't take too long to take down your dimension as well. I'll show you. I'm not going to cut it off because I'm going to kind of go the faster way around it and leave a little bit there, because I'll probably use some of the same color to accent it and add more so it changes the look. So from here, I'm going to do the same movement with a little more pressure. You know what? I'm not using my dust extractor. What's wrong with me? Okay, let's try this again. So now you're going to
turn it on.
Okay, so now that it's on, now you're going to use the same movement but put slight more pressure. And what you're doing is kind of taking down the clear that you built on the nail.
So kind of the bulk.
Yes, the bulk of it. But I'm not going to take it all the way down. Right back here I will more. But as you can see, I slow my movement a little. And as I start to see her natural nail, I do a tickle motion. See how I brace her fingernail right here with my finger? This is important because it's uncomfortable for your client if you're just filing, putting pressure on the free edge of her nail. Okay, I'm going to leave that much. I'm going to do the same thing to this one. And do you feel anything, Tracy?
Not at all.
You pretty much just feel me working.
Actually, to me, when my nails are electric filed, it's relaxing.
It is. That's what my clients say too. They used to never relax when they would get their nails electric filed because they'd be tense because they were afraid, they were bracing themselves for when it was going to burn or hurt. My clients actually want to fall asleep because they finally sit down, and first time they sit down all day and relax. So it's kind of nice and helps me get my job done pretty fast. So I'm going to leave like about that much of it. Okay, let's take off this one. So let me go a little slower so you can see. See how I utilize all movement of my drill bit, like my whole zones 1, 2, and 3. So I'm doing circular motions kind of parallel with the nail. I'm not doing it this way and this way. So that's going to utilize your whole drill bit. Also maximize the polisher taking off. It's going to take it off a lot faster.
Yeah, because we get a lot of comments about how long it takes people to prep for a fill or remove product. It really shouldn't take that long.
No, honestly, when you get used to this movement, you could do this whole thing within 5 minutes, honestly, because you're just going through the motion. So now I'm going to prep her now. And even if you're at 10, that's still a lot faster than taking off your polish like this because you're nervous that you're going to hurt them.
I call that the chicken peck.
The chicken peck, yes, exactly. That's common when you're first starting. Just try this movement and it's going to save you a lot of time. Okay, so from here I'm going to change my drill bit. So now what I'm going to do is put it about to 5,000 RPMs, and I'm going to get it as close as I can to the cuticle area. And she has a little white spot there. I'm going to hit it twice. Now I know that it took off her skin, her cuticle growth, and then prep the natural nail. So if you notice I didn't get all her color off, I don't suggest trying to get it all off with your carbide bit because you could chunk out the nail or take too much off the nail that's not necessary. This will take off the remainder of what you want to take off of. Baby circles around the cuticle area. And as you can see how it cleans it up really well back there. Come right here. You'll do this to all 10 of her fingernails. And really the only reason why I'm roughing it up down here is because I'm doing gel and need something to hook onto. If it's acrylic, I really would just focus on her natural nail. So let's say she wants just a very little length taken off. Usually about 4 weeks or 6 weeks, they want more length taken off unless they're wanting to grow them long. So I could have done that when I took off all the color, but I'll show you when you're just going to take off a little. So come right here. That's about half of what they grew out. So I'll go through and do it all at once. So it's never too late to do it because sometimes your client right now says, oh, maybe I should shorten them. So at this point you would do it. If she told you at the beginning, then you would have done it with your carbide bit really quick.
My favorite is when you're all done. You're like, no.
I know, it is a little hard at that point. I could take them down a little.
Yeah.
But especially if you have a custom shape, it's kind of hard to really take them down a lot at that point. I would suggest if you were afraid to do this on somebody, if you do it on yourself, you'll build confidence real quick. If it hurts you, you know it'll hurt them. But using the movement with slight pressure, honestly, you'll do a great job. So let's dust these off. Let's cleanse the nail with swipe. Again, holding my brush towards me. So what it's doing, it's extracting everything out of her cuticles and sidewalls. I find when you work in this product all day long, the less I have to touch swipe, the better, because it does dry your hands out when you use it all day, every day. And that little color's not gonna matter. If I was gonna go nude, I would get my drill bit. The reason why it's not gonna matter is I'm still gonna go a dark color because it's fall, but I would just come here and take that off.
So you'd be more concerned.
Yeah, if it was gonna be like a light sheer color, sometimes that happens. I couldn't see it at first, but then once you swipe them, you could see a spot. Just take it off with your arbor band. Protein bond the entire nail. Okay, come back the second time. Really focus on your cuticle area, mainly. Okay, so what I'm going to do now is go into my base.
I know I've asked this before.
That's okay. I like that we repeat it because when you watch something or an education, or even when you're getting education, you hear probably 25% of it. So when you keep hearing it, I myself even learn more.
Is it necessary when doing a fill? Do you have to base?
I would never not base. I mean, do you have to? No. but your client's nail might live. So why would you chance that? Personally, I like my clients a lot, but I don't want to see my client again till her appointment, because that means that I have to book off at least half hour. If you've done a repair, you know how long it takes. Save yourself in just base. Base is your foundation of your system. So pretty much I never skip it. And with base, do you notice I put pressure on my bristles? I don't put it on thick. I don't glide it on. I feel like it weaves into the natural nail better if you put slight pressure when you put it on. Okay, so now under the light for 30 seconds. So I built her nails with concealer peach, so I'm going to do all her nails I'm building up. I'm going to do her art last. And the reason why I do that is I don't want glitter or color, whatever I'm going to put in that nail, to get in my other nails that I haven't built yet. That's kind of a speed technique, so you're not cleaning up anything. Okay, so fill in your back end. Really using the product to just fill in. I'm not building any structure because she already had her structure there. I'm just filling in the gap behind. So my main focus is around the cuticle area. And then I kind of polish it down to kind of blend it in. Now this is pretty much what I do all day, every day. You're not going to be building sets all the time, only when you're building your clientele, really, or you get a new client. I don't build a lot of new sets now. I do a lot of change outs and a lot of the work I'm doing right now because I already have my clientele built. As you can see, it's filled all the way back, and now I'm going to flash set it for about 30 seconds. So I'll work on the other hand while she's under. Okay, so now these are the colors I'm going to use. I'm going to use Bordeaux. I'm going to use Party Ninja again, of course. I'm digging that color for this season right now. I'm going to use Shimmering Sand and Star Sand. Okay, this is how I custom mix my color. I'm going to do enough for 2 nails. I might have a tad bit left. Let's see. Kind of mix it, and I could kind of get an idea of what it's going to look like. Let's put a dash of Shimmering Sand. Give it a little bit of a gold fleck in there. And I didn't overpower it with that because it would really take over. I just accented it with the gold. So let's see, I'm gonna be kind of creative with it. I'm gonna come in here and kind of mix the colors up. If you happen to get more on here, say your art, don't worry about it. I'll show you how to clean it up. Just get it on. So I'm gonna kind of make the 2 colors meet. Okay, so with my brush, I'll kind of negative space it. Okay, we will cure this for 30 seconds, and I'll go to the other hand and do the same thing while she's under the light. Okay, I'm gonna put 1 more coat just for a little bit more coverage. Get it closer to the cuticle. If it's not that close to the cuticle, and when you electric file and some files off, it's not a big deal. I could show you how to fix it. Because sometimes with the full coverage like that, you might file too much off here, meaning the color. So it doesn't mean you have to build the nail again, you just have to add the color. Okay, so I'm gonna cure this for 30 more seconds. So what I'm going to do from here is, I'm gonna take my base, and I'm going to base her entire nail from cuticle to free edge. Okay, so now I am going to put the other cap under here. I hold the nail down a little bit, and I'm going to sprinkle it in for a dimensional effect. Now remember, if you put too much on in a spot, it doesn't matter, it's not cured, you can wipe some off. I think I want to cover it all with glitter, but I like it because when you look at the tip, it kind of catches so many colors because there was reflecting different colors under there already. So that's really how art's done. Like, you have a vision, you do it, and sometimes you change it in the middle. I was just gonna do half of it, but I decided I really like all of it. So we're gonna go ahead and go under the light for 30 seconds. Okay, so now I'm gonna go into build pink. So you see why I do my glitter last? See how it's on my neighbor right here now? I would be picking this out to rebalance it or to fill it. So it's better to do all these first than do your art. I find it easier. So work it around your cuticle area first, taking a ride really soft on top of the gel. Get a little bit more out of here. So you don't need quite as much as a full set. So use a little less product. That's why a rebalance is a little less than a full set, depending on what you're getting. Okay, let's flash set it. So I'll tell you why I had her go under right away. I could tell it's a little warmer in here, so my gel moves a little faster. Sometimes I could get away with encapsulating 2 or 3 at a time, I find in cooler temperatures. I pay attention to how it's moving. So it was gonna move on me. By the time I was done with the next one, it would have been more flat and in her sidewalls. So I had her go under the light to stop it, just to flash set it. Doesn't have to be 30 seconds. Literally like 15 seconds will stop it from moving. So then, see how it stopped it from moving? It's not fully cured, but it's hard on the outside. So I'm gonna go to the next one. I'm always in motion though. I would be doing it to the other hand. I wouldn't be sitting here waiting for it to flash set.
We get a lot of that question though about room temperature, and it's kind of the opposite for acrylic, right?
Absolutely, you're right.
It's like when it's warm, acrylic sets up so fast.
Yes.
It makes gel runnier. When it's cold, gel doesn't want to move.
Yes.
And acrylic wants to
Run everywhere. It's so true. It's
Yeah.
the complete opposite. Okay, so just stopping it from moving. I'm gonna look at them from the side, and I kind of compare it to the other nail. So if you look at it from the side, this has a little more volume than this. This is still a little flat. So I'll just come in here and literally float some on here, float some on here, and I'll final cure them for 1 minute. So you could see actually how fast you move. You're always doing something. That's what you want to do to maximize your time. Get as many people in as you can or go home earlier. So now I'm done electric filing. I'm going to show you how to perfect the shape. So let's do the middle one. So I'll come right here, just kind of clean up my sides. Make sure my sidewalls are straight. I like to kind of file my tip a little more, and I'm looking at it as I'm doing it to make sure that it's really tight around it, not thick in spots. And I kind of drag it through. Then I look client profile. This is the most important actually, because they look straight to us when we're filing the other direction, but this is like you looking at your nails like this. Sometimes they say it's crooked, you're like, it looks straight. If you turn it from this direction, you're gonna see where it is. And I always favor a side, I'm sure you all do too. So this is my weak side. You could see this side right here is pretty tight, and this is a little bulky. I'll put pressure on her finger here and file it in. The reason why I put pressure, it kind of braces the nail so she doesn't feel any tugging as I file. Okay, so now I'm gonna finish filing these, and I'll get back to you with the finished look. But this one I'm going to show you how you add it again if you accidentally file a little bit off. Okay, so as you can see right here, just a tad bit's filed off, but if you look at it from the side, there is nothing structural wrong with the nail at all. Okay, nothing at all. So what I would do is you would protein bond it, and I usually go through with the whole nail. Then what I'm going to do is take my Bordeaux and take a little bit off of here. Put your color back in. If you're missing it in any other spots, you could check it out. I could get it a little tighter right there, not a big deal. Now I'm just being super picky, but it actually looked fine. So really that's all you need. You could put a little more if you want your glitter to cover more. So now I'll cure it for about 15 seconds. That little mix I still have here, the reason why I leave a little bit in there is sometimes I need it for this. So this little detailer is amazing because it doesn't pick up too much. I really like it. So I'm going to take my detailer with a little bit of my glitter on it. It's a glitter press. I'm going to press it in. I like to go under the light a few seconds, and the reason being is sometimes your brush could move your glitter and then you get a hard spot that's cured in there and then you have to buff it. So for me, it still has cure time. I like to go under for like 15 seconds and maybe fix the one on the other hand, or finish top coating the others. I'm always in motion, or putting away the colors that I just used. So I'm always doing something. Okay, so now I'm going to put my top coat on. So now nothing moved, nothing's on my brush. You can go straight into the top coat. Sometimes if I'm really in a hurry, I will, but usually it bites me because I'll have a little piece of glitter somewhere that it dragged down. So it's really smart to kind of flash it so it holds on. Now I'm going to do my foil. So I'll touch a little bit of the dispersion layer and pick this up so it's sticky. And touch my dispersion layer. It's just the perfect amount to get this effect.
I love how the foil kind of just melts into the top coat.
You know, it's kind of satisfying doing it too. I really enjoy it working with this. And I like the dimension it creates. So it's going to kind of do what it wants. It kind of organically lays. Now I'm going to use my orange wood stick to kind of cut through it so it kind of looks like leaves a little, or just kind of gives it kind of an organic look, not so perfect. You could leave it how it was, but I kind of like the way that looks. Okay, so now I am going to go over it with a top coat before she goes under. I'm using Manicure Top right now. Again, kind of lightly floating over it. If you put too much pressure, it's going to be textured and rough. If you glide it soft over it, then it's going to self-level over the foil. I usually put 2 coats on, so then it ensures it self-levels, and I know you're not going to fill anything. So I'll go about 15 seconds and then put another coat and finish cure it from there. This is my second coat, again, real lightly, not oversaturating it, but just kind of gliding it over. And now final curing it for 1 minute. So now I'm going to take swipe all that dispersion layer. I'm going to fill them all and make sure that they're clean and you don't fill anything, because usually when your client fills something and they want to pick at it, let's say she felt something, let's just say, or if you feel something, I would take a 180 and just tack it real lightly. Don't over buff it because your top coat could pill. Remember, just lightly tack it over it and then put a top coat on it again, cure it, and you're done. But usually you won't fill it if you've done 2 coats and you've looked down the barrel of them, making sure there's nothing sticking out. So there you go. Oh wait, you need rose oil. My favorite.
Nourish my skin.
Put back everything in, you take out. Okay. Thank you, enjoy your nails.
I hope you enjoyed the video. Please like and subscribe. Also, if you didn't know, we're on so many other channels. Check us out on TikTok, Instagram, LinkedIn, Facebook, Snapchat. The list goes on. Please, please, please check us out.